All right, here we go. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Express Lane with Jeff Carroll, writer, filmmaker, comic book creator, all of that. So I started off as a fan, just like everybody else. I'm a child of the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And sometimes we find stuff that are really things that set us back and make us rethink our love for the genre of science fiction and horror and movies and books and all of that stuff. And nothing else does that more for us than racial revelations. What I call racial revelations. That's what I want to talk about today. So let me see. How do I define a racial revelation? Well, it's like growing up watching The Wizard of Oz, right? And finding that the actress or the story, let's not play on the actress, right? The story had Dorothy in blackface. And it was the same actress. Now we know that The Wizard of Oz started off as a book, and it was made maybe 4 or 5 times, maybe even up to 8 times before the one that we know famous. And I forgot the name of the actress. That it escaped me. I should have wrote it down, but maybe it'll come to me. Gosh, and it's so close to me. But anyway, in my mind, I'm old, right? So it's a racial revelation. We grew up watching, Follow the Yellow Brick Road. We grew up watching this, this story, and it was, although it was fantasy, and it was a talking Tin Man, it had a talking, lion, and talking scarecrow. We thought, hey, it's fantasy. We already suspended our earthly connections. She left Kansas and she went to Oz, right? However, when you see her in blackface, it just does a factory reset. You're like, well, wait a minute. I know the blackface is offensive, but why do people wear blackface? Well, because the character is supposed to be black. So now we're like, oh my God, I thought this was a little girl that just loved her family, Was everybody in blackface? Was she adopted? Or were they all in blackface? And if they were all in blackface, is it a black story? What the hell? We need to find all these things out, right? And because that changes everything. The Wiz was beautiful. That was a remake of The Wizard of Oz. But dang, it was hot because it was black. It felt really good. But now you're going to tell me that Dorothy in the original Wizard of Oz that we grew up watching is black? Yeah, it's more than just blackface, racist act. Like when these kids do, racial things at Halloween and they wear blackface, or these politicians, you find out they did blackface when they was in college. It's a whole different ball game. Those was white people playing characters that we know was already black, and we understood the story as a story with black characters in it, and they just muddy it up the waters because they want to play the black character, they want to act offensive, they want to use the N-word, all that other stuff. But nah, in The Wizard of Oz, that's supposed to be a white story. You understand? Who was the Wicked Witch? Were the Wicked Witches white or black? I need to know all of this stuff. Let's move on. Racial revelation number 2. The doggone Oompa Loompas. Who grew up watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? I think that's kind of a light racist thing, you know. But we found out, the revelation we found out was the Oompa Loompas was based on the Pygmy tribe in Africa, the Twa tribe. Not just, you know, pygmies in general, because that's the I guess the race of humans, but the Twa tribe. And you know, I have a special connection to the Twa tribe because I made my hero this Twa man. And you know, the Twa man is my superhero. He's based on the leprechaun story in England, where we found out, or Ireland, where we found out the leprechaun that they talk about was based on the Twa people, and that the leprechaun was black. Now, that was an old revelation, right? But that changed things. It made me think of the leprechaun different. Why was he out there? Why were they being enslaved? What did they want from the Twa people? You know, Twa people are natural herbalists. So what the heck is the pot of gold? There's minerals, you know, herbs and stuff. Wow. But now you're going to make the Oompa Loompas Twa people? Damn, that changes a lot. How would they become disempowered? Maybe they was hoodwinked. You know what I'm saying? But then beyond that, now we know who made the daggone chocolate. Now you think about a tribe of leprechaun people, right? With the powers of pots of gold and minerals, right? Now they're making the chocolate. That just changes everything. And these whole revelations, they act like they new stories. They act like they're stories that are even better, right? I actually do want to make the Black Wizard of Oz story. I may do that. I may do this, what do you call it? The Willy Wonka. I got to see if that is in public domain. But it just changes everything. It changes everything. Do they need to be enslaved? Well, they probably could still be enslaved and captured by Willy Wonka, but he's got to be amazing if he can capture all of those Oompa Loompas or those Twa people, right? And Oompa Loompa is racist. It's got to be a racist name. They can't call themselves Oompa Loompa. They probably didn't act stupid like that. That was Willy Wonka telling that version of the story. You know, he was a stupid little child. He probably couldn't understand. You know how they pronounce African names? Oomba laba baba labu. You know what I'm saying? Even stupid African Americans try to butcher African names like that. I can't say all of that. But then they jump around and they'll say Schwartzky, Shinjawaks, you know, whatever, some Russian name, and they say that like they'll try to pronounce the hardest Greek name out there, Okropolopoulos, you know, but then they would come to an African name. It's easy to roll off your tongue. They act like it's some stupid Oompa Loompa, whatever you said. I don't understand the you know, they got all racist with it, and I hate that. You know, so I understand how Oompa Loompa was probably a racist pronunciation of an African dialect. And it's perfect sense that these guys are, pygmies and members of the Twa tribe. Twa tribe is older than Egypt, son. These people are great human beings, a great human species on the planet. So, right, the third and the last revelation is how many people watch Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is amazing, right? It was a cannibal named Hannibal Lecter helping catch another serial killer who was weird. In the movie, he was catching overweight white women, smoothing down their skin and cutting their skin off to make an outfit of his own. You can't make this stuff up. It was horrible, nasty. He kept them in the bottom of a cave. And I'm sorry I'm spoiling it for you, but there's still more suspense. You know, who he was and what he did. That's not half of the story. It's the telling of the story, and I can't spoil that for you. It's not a murder mystery, so pump your brakes. But now we find out that the killer, Buffalo Bill, that the cannibal is helping them catch, was a real person. And not only was he a real person, what he did was real. However, it's a racial twist to it, right? There's a racial twist. I got all my LGBT slang confused this morning, but it's a racial twist. Buffalo Bill didn't kill overweight white women. No. Buffalo Bill was a white guy, yes. But he kidnapped and killed black women. Wow, that changes a lot, right? Nate, not only did he not just catch black women, he catch special needs black women, under the spectrum black women, women that in the description they call retarded. And that's not even an offensive term as much as it was before. It's not retardation. Yo, these were women that had a diagnosis, right? Might have been autistic. They might have been ADHD. Maybe bipolar. I don't know. I don't know if he had a type. I don't know how. I know he had a type. I don't know if he had a specific area that he looked for. I don't know how he found his victims. I don't know if he worked in a hospital, mental institution. But yes, that changes everything. Why does that change everything? Well, this movie was made in the 80s, right? I think it was 80. I have no idea. I don't know if it's 81. Might be 91. Somewhere around that, right? And prior to that, this is not post 70s, but this is after the 70s, right? Not immediately post 70s, but after the 70s. In the 70s, we had all these disappearance of black kids, yo. They weren't just, there's two reasons to go after black people. One, I just don't like them, right? You're some MAGA paranoid person, you just don't like them. And we would think that that's what the Klan did, they just didn't like us. But then there's the other reason. There's a eugenics interest, right? There's something about your blackness that is of interest, right? It can be the root of jealousy, that's one thing, but it can be the root of envy, right? And exploration. And eugenics is that, right? And I've been very aware of eugenics. It's part of my Baba series. When I get a chance to write one of Baba's comic books, I have enough characters. I haven't even got to write all their stories. But Baba, in the screenplay that I wrote, is being pursued because of his blackness. And if this was what Buffalo Bill was doing, those are two reasons. Either you're racist and you just don't like black women and you want to capture them and torture them. Okay, I give you that. But if you're anything like with the movie Buffalo Bill, where you want to use something from these women that you capture, in the movie he was taking their skin, but in the real life he was capturing black women who were mentally ill, right? Maybe because they was easy to capture. I think that might be the clue for that. But then, why black? Why black? Did he just want to cosplay? Was this a case of extreme, what do they call it? When the men dress up as women? Now I forget all of my LGBT terms, right? Is this an extreme case of dragism, racial dragging? We already got a lot of guys that want to dress up in women and do drag. Is this extreme case of reverse RuPaulism? I don't know, but it does change a lot. I don't know if I want to rewrite that story, but maybe the truth needs to be told. All right. So anyway, those are my things. I wanted to talk a little bit about racial revelations and how they impact us, because they do impact us. They're crazy. They're out of control. We didn't make this stuff up. These are people. These are white people with problems. Either they changed Dorothy because they think the audience couldn't handle it. What the heck does that story even mean if it's about a black family? Are they escaping? What's in Kansas that they gotta escape? That this little girl is dreaming about escaping? What are the lessons that she learns? All of that. That story was a message. Then you got the Oompa Loompas. Did they create the chocolate? We already know chocolate come from Africa. We already know that. You know, it don't come from Swiss mountains. That's where they mix it up and put the sugar in there and make Swiss Miss chocolate. But did that change that? And then Buffalo Bill, what the heck is Silence of the Lambs about if he's kidnapping black women? What the heck? You know? Holy, is that a eugenics movie? So anyway, Jeff Carroll out, Sci-Fi Express Lane. I came back with a good one. This is really cool. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, I'm out of here.